Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day. This was brought to my attention just now by Wrestling Inc. The link will be in the comments section down below. Please check them out. And it's a story pertaining to LA Knight, reportedly has management support backstage, but approach is a concern. The old debate of politics backstage has become a bit of an issue with LA Knight, and I'm going to tell you why that is. Basically, it states, despite coming up short, PWTorch is reporting that LA Knight is slated for a push in the late summer into the fall. The sources say Vince McMahon has become a fan of Knight, while Triple H already has been considering his usage in WWE NXT in 2021 upon being brought back to the company. However, the report does state LA Knight has a history of rubbing people the wrong way behind the scenes, as well as being bad at backstage politics. Even though he may not give off a great first impression to everyone he meets, the crowd reactions and social media popularity have reportedly put him on management's radar for a potential push after SummerSlam. And, the politics in WWE and wrestling in general are always just a driving factor in whether a career goes forward or ends up stalling or ends up dying. It's really something that's interesting because this is another young talent that's got all the credentials. He's got charisma, he's got ability, he can wrestle, he can brawl, his gimmick is getting over with the fans. The concern, however, is that every time that when we see someone come along like an LA Knight, generally with the way WWE creative is and Vince McMahon not pushing the right talents, that they end up taking the people that really could have been something and then throwing them under the bus in the long run. And that's really a common thing with today's WWE, just because what looks like is not always the case. We've seen so many people come and go that were potentially going to be main eventers, and then they end up getting dropped to the bottom of the barrel, or they end up disappearing and going to other companies. At the end of the day, it's Vince McMahon that makes the saying and Triple H. But if the story is true that Vince McMahon really is behind creative again, because I actually do think he never left creative, then that's really going to be trouble for LA Knight. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, LA Knight might get somewhere in the next few months, but in the long run, will he go somewhere? It remains to be seen, because it takes more than ability to get ahead in a company like that. You have to have the pushing of Vince McMahon. You got to have the right people that are going to get behind you. And, LA Knight reminds me of a younger version of The Miz from 2006, 2007. When he came in, Mike Mizanin was seen as a reality show dropout and a guy that would never get ahead in WWE. And then a couple of years after he got there, he surprised everybody by winning championships and proving he could be a very good heel. He was seen as a guy originally that was not going to be seen as getting far, and look what happened there. And I think LA Knight reminds me a lot of a younger version of The Miz. The charisma, the ability in the ring, he's there to basically entertain and still is a decent wrestler, but he also is going to have to go through similar things that The Miz went through. Politics backstage is one thing, but the other reasons are WWE gets behind certain talents all the time, to where it's far and few, to where it will not be like it was 15, 20 years ago, where you had a main event roster of like so many people. Now it just seems like it's a few people, or they're bringing back past part-timers and so forth. And that's become WWE's curse, along with too many rematches and just the same old, same old. LA Knight, I've really enjoyed his work. I do think that he will be a big star in the long run, but it just remains to be seen whether or not he can really keep the momentum going, because if he's rubbing people the wrong way backstage, and that is going to be something that might end his career in the long run. I hope it doesn't happen. But how many guys that we've seen came along and went and then ended up leaving because they just were out of nowhere in trouble, or they were just on the losing end with Vince McMahon, or just anything like that. So I don't know. It could be any reason really to why he's rubbing people the wrong way. Let's hope that the guy doesn't end up in trouble and they keep on pushing him the way that they do. I don't think he'll be a top heel yet to replace Roman Reigns, but I do think that he's working his way up in a slow, steady way to where we could see some big things from LA Knight. But that's just my take. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.